Hello everybody, my name is Logan S. and welcome back to my first ever Nuzlocke playing through this randomized version of Pokemon Emerald. We have gotten 7 gym badges and now we have some story stuff that we need to take care of. We need to face Maxie and Archie for the last time, so that is what we are going to do. We head into, I believe it is the Weather Institute. We fight all of these grunts. This one grunt has a Lugia, but it's only level 32, whereas I'm at level 39, so I'm not too worried. Now here I get a little bit of a surprise. I forget that this fight, we can only bring 3 of our Pokemon, and it's a double battle with Steven as our partner. So I'm a little scared of this. I bring the Land God as my backup option, but I really hope I can get through this without losing any Pokemon, and of course, starting out, we have a level 42 Zapdos we have to deal with. Now, going through these first 2 Pokemon, I speed through it just because it didn't go too bad. We took him down. I don't care if his Metang goes down. But this Pineco coming in, I am scared of it because I'm afraid it's going to have Explosion. So I try my hardest to take this thing down before it can, of course, go boom and kill our starter, our No Boomies. I should not have named him that. I foretold his death, but anyway, I bring in the Land God to finish this off because I know I can just use Earthquake because I don't care if his Metang goes down. And we end up winning the fight, but at the cost of our starter. Now, I am by no means, a huge fan of Claydol, but, it was the starter. I had an attachment to this thing, and I was really, really sad to see it go down because it had come in clutch with us. If we could have just got a couple of, 1 or 2 good TMs for it, but anyway, at this point of the playthrough, I decide I am done. So I am just going to bring Kyogre, I'm going to train it up, and we are going to run 2 legendaries on this team with Groudon and Kyogre. But that being said, the search for TMs is never going to go away. But I decided to surf around, get some encounters, then I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and get through this Aqua Grunt, last little bit of Team Aqua stuff. So, run around this entire cave system, hoping that I can find some TMs along the way, because I have randomized all the items. I could look up where some hidden items are, but you know what, I just don't want to deal with that, so we just go through, deal with all of these, do our ceremonial save before we get to the last Archie fight. Now, I'm a little bit underleveled for this, for some of my Pokemon, especially for Shrek, our Kyogre, but this Lileep, I think, can go down pretty quickly to a couple of Psychics from Gengham, or Gengham 2, I should say. The reason he's called 2, by the way, if you haven't seen any of the other videos, is because we did have a Kadabra, but then I found a Alakazam, and I was like, you know what? Dupe's Claws, I'm just going to catch it to have the Evolve form. But, to my surprise, Gengham 2 cannot handle this Lileep. It's probably down to me not really having a good strategy with him. All he has is Psychic for damaging moves, but anyway, I can pivot out, go to our Fu Manchu. Hopefully this thing can take down this relatively strong Lileep. Thank God this thing wasn't evolved, or I would have had a really bad problem with Cradily. Anyway, finally take it down. The Seal that's coming out next, I believe it's not going to be too much of a problem. I go into DDR just to hit a Fake Out on it. And then I hope Absorb can do pretty good, even though it's, well, actually, I think Seal is pure water type, so it should, yeah, it is super effective. So, just have DDR in there, and I go back and forth with this thing. This thing with Rest is absolutely annoying. I realized at this point watching it that, yes, I should have probably switched out before this, because he was just going to keep spamming this and keep spamming it until I run out of PP. He was trying to PP stall me. So, any second now, I should realize, you know what, I have to make the switch, especially while this thing is asleep, so it's a free switch in. Go over to our Polar, which is awesome. I am loving how good Magnemite is in this playthrough. And his last Pokemon, I think, is going to be a level 43 Caterpie, which is going to go down with 1 little Spark. So with that, Archie is defeated, so now Kyogre can go and rain terror. And from here, we need to heal up, and then we need to head on over to Centopolis City. Battle some trainers along the way, get some experience, try to find some items, nothing really good. We get here, and I'm like, oh, I can get a new encounter here by fishing or by surfing. And I was like, I don't think I can surf and get an encounter with these two battling it out, so I fish, and our encounter for Sootopolis City is Dodrio. Dodrio is okay. I mean, it's a flying type, so it's 3 heads, so I decided to name it Cerberus. Even though it's not a dog, it still has 3 heads. So Cerberus, of course, the guardian of the underworld, the 3-headed dog. But anyway, we go to the Cave of Origin, where our encounter is going to be Misdreavus. I do like Misdreavus, even though I've never used it. It's a ghost type, and I've been really into Supernatural lately, rewatching it again, so I decided to name it Dean. Dean just popped in my head for a ghost type. But anyway, from there, I have to go to Sky Pillar next, so we have to make our way over there. I still do not have any flying types on the team, so I can't just fly somewhere closer, so we gotta go the long way around, and we gotta surf all the way there. But finally, I make it there, get our encounter for Sky Pillar, which is going to be Spoink, which it is like I name it Slink because it just reminds me of Slink from Toy Story, even though, you know, he was a Slinky. Anyway, the coil made me think of it. Anyway, we release Rayquaza, and now we need to head back to Sootopolis City, and once we get there, I'm going to let this cutscene play because I just loved this as a kid. This is just... I don't know why, but something about this cutscene when I was a kid I just found so epic. Anyway, we have opened up the gym, so now I decide to head in there and get some battling done just to get a couple of levels, because I think the level cap for this is 46, and I do not want to go in there below 45. Like I think I said, you know what, if I can get my Pokemon up to the 44, 45, I will be happy. But there is a lot of grinding that we are going to have to go through and do right now. And I do have to say that in the future, when I do decide to do another Nuzlocke, especially if it's in one of these generations where it's really hard or takes a lot of time to grind Pokemon, even though I really, really want the EVs from grinding and training, I do not want to have to deal with 2+ hours of just grinding and leveling up and leveling up. So I probably am going to just do rare candy cheats. And again, that is just to purely save time because I spent hours doing this. And I just have to say that in the future, I do not want to have to spend, you know, up to, I think I spent like 6 or 8 hours total of this playthrough just grinding and grinding and grinding. And there's just so much better use of my time. You know, the EV loss that I'm going to get from not doing that is, you know, it's going to be it's going to be okay. But then I'm also considering not doing that because one of the biggest challenges I had in this playthrough was I lost a lot of Pokemon to simply just when I was training, you know, just going and battling random trainers for experience or battling something like this Lapras, for example. Right here, I am stupid just going through this. I'm like, oh, I can one-shot this thing, and no, I cannot, and it takes out my Polar, my Magneton. So I am absolutely just so furious with myself at this moment, and this is something that, you know, adds difficulty to me, is the fact that you have to grind because you can do stupid mistakes like that and lose a Pokemon. Anyway, I spend a lot of time trying to figure out what am I going to replace this thing with. I eventually decide, you know what, I can evolve this Eevee into Jolteon and then go around to anywhere that I can get TMs and encounter and items and just try to find a good TM. If I can find Thunderbolt, I will be set. So I spend a good amount of time just going around, double checking places where you can find items, going to places where there's TMs, and like I said, that is a big thing about this run, and I'm just done with it at this point. So I was like, you know what? Let's save the game, and we'll come back another time. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me a subscription. Consider coming back for more. But thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.